Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. Woo! There's a lot going on. You've got China investigating Nvidia. And why is that? Well, it's because TikTok. A lot of people don't understand how that works. It's tit for tat. So China investigating Nvidia brings down Nvidia a little bit, affects the whole stock market. It's going to affect the stock market again a little bit today. You can see overseas how that's actually not going well. But do I expect it to come back? Yeah, I expect it to come back. Do I expect things to get a little bit, get a little bit worse because of TikTok? Maybe. You know, there are people that really love TikTok and there are people that really hate TikTok. I'm one of those people that really don't like TikTok anymore. I've got my reasons. To keep it brief, TikTok closed our account saying that we were fake. And I'm like, how are we the fake ones when all of my videos come out before everybody else that's trying to steal our identity? That you won't stop from stealing our identity. That's the one thing I don't like about TikTok. People can steal whatever it is that you do and they don't care as long as they get their eyeballs. So we just decided, yeah, we're not going to do TikTok, period. So if TikTok goes away, yeah, we're not going to care. Over here at GMB, we're not going to care. Except that it's going to affect the market and all of that traffic will just be absorbed by, Instagram, Blue Sky. I think Blue Sky is going to see like huge benefit from it. People aren't talking about it. They're all saying, oh, it's going to go over to Instagram. I think it's going to go over to Blue Sky. I really think it will. X has got issues, right? They have their whole, every 2 seconds somebody's getting hacked issue. But TikTok, that whole thing from TikTok investigation in the United States, or being literally right now, they're supposed to get kicked out of the United States unless, one of the lower courts, one of the lower appellate courts, says, hey, we're going to stay this motion until the Supreme Court gets to hear it, whatever. But we'll see. That's actually a pretty sticky case that can go in any direction. But they will have to cut. They will have to somehow cut ties. That's without a doubt. If they want to stay here, they will have to cut some ties. What else is going on? Because of Nvidia, that whole tit for tat thing, you're seeing a hit on stock markets, and because of Nvidia, you're seeing a hit on cryptos, especially the AI cryptos. But then you've got to stop and you've got to say to yourself, I don't know, right? Because that crash happened yesterday, and we're already back up near $98,000. So we're bouncing, but we're bouncing within a very tight space, and we'll see the numbers later on, and you'll see what I mean. So I don't know that it's going to have a long lasting effect. I don't think it will. What's really funny to me is that China needs the United States, and the United States needs China. We consume too much. The United States consumes too much. The United States is, just focused on buying stuff. Instead of investing, people just want to buy stuff. And it's like every time you buy stuff, your money is leaving. You're just buying stuff. Do you think those red bottom shoes mean anything to anybody? They don't. All that stuff that we're buying, every year trying to get a new television because the last one, it wasn't big enough. No. I'm telling you, stuff is really hurting the country. We need to stop consuming so much stuff. And granted, we get flooded with stuff. Just stuff. You know what I mean? Some things you actually need, right? And you go get what you need. Hopefully you buy quality and it lasts. And sometimes you can only get low quality, so you have to buy it every so often. But the quality of things, I don't know if you've noticed, has gone down, which is why we buy so much stuff, which has a huge impact on our economy. So yeah, I pay attention to what's going to affect our bags, and that's something that's going to affect our bags, our constant, consumption of stuff. And I think something that people are not paying enough attention to is the constant downgrading of quality, making us have to go buy more stuff, from cars to anything that you can think of. Remember when you were paying a lot of money for a car because it actually came with leather? When they said leather seats, it wasn't like some kind of composite or something like that. Well, they were leather seats. Got softer as you used it. You're not getting that anymore. The quality of things has gone down, but the price of things have gone up. So, stuff. It really is stuff. And I'm really wondering, when are people going to stop buying stuff and realize that you buying stuff decreases the amount of money that you have left to invest? The GMB3, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and invest deliberately. That last one isn't just about money. Investing deliberately also means investing in yourself. Just saying. Just putting it out there. I'm gonna keep saying it until more and more people get it. Stop buying stuff and start investing. Trust me, your future, your kids' futures, your kids' future will be a heck of a lot better. A heck of a lot. Excuse me. All right. Then you have Ethereum. Ethereum is still having the whole gas fee, debate. And I'm like, why is there still a debate? The gas fees are too high, right? You need to make the system better. Period. Hopefully the Pectra 2 upgrade will address, certain challenges. We'll see. But Ethereum hurts. Ethereum suffers because of high gas fees. That slide is no joke. So many other. Why do you think Solana took off? One of the main reasons why Solana took off, the gas fees are way lower. Way lower. Speeds are way faster. Way faster. I love Ethereum, but Ethereum's got to step up its game, or else they're going to lose out to a project that still has a freaking network gremlin. Just saying. Just putting it out there, being real. Then you have Tether reporting a surge in wallets that have less than $1,000 that are buying Tether like gangbusters, leveraging Tether for their transactions. I keep telling people, when I think of stablecoins, Tether comes first to me because Tether has the most pairs. Now, other stablecoins have good pairs and everything else, and you'll see volume rising and everything else. Athena's USDE, is now number 3 ahead of DAI. And I'm just sitting back and I'm just saying to myself, when RLUSD hits, I think it has the potential of blowing Circle out of the number 2 spot. I think it'll definitely take over the number 3 spot, like instantaneously. But when I think about Circle, I'm kind of like, it could do it. They could get enough money to actually start in second place. Now, wouldn't that be something? But I still think of Tether first. More pairs. More pairs, more transactions, more volume. More volume, more money. More money, more stability. More liquidity. Stuff they can do that others can't. And I'm just sitting back and just going, wow, that's crazy. But we'll see how it plays out. But I still, I don't plan on keeping my money in stable coins. Well, PaxG. I do, but I don't plan on spreading it out all too much. I'm going to have it in a couple of stable coins, and that's going to be it. It's going to be dry powder. Might even consider buying some direct treasuries. So we'll see how that goes, because I'm trying to protect myself against the US dollar and its decline in value. And it's not just the US dollar, it's almost any fiat across the world. Almost any fiat across the world. They've all decreased in value. So I'm paying attention to all that. Then you have Google unveiling its new Willow chip. It's now the Willow chip is said to be mad fast, like complex transactions within 5 minutes that other computers can't do in hours and days. I'm just sitting back and I'm saying quantum computing is here. You know, Microsoft's going to have its quantum computer out next year. And again, I tell people all the time, what you can do now is going to be blown away by what you'll be able to do with quantum computers next year, the year after, the year after. Quantum computing is probably going to put me on an upgrade, track for the next couple of years. I'm going to want, the second one, not the first one, the second one. So the first one is Honeywell. Do I want that? No. I want the second one, which is who? Microsoft, most likely. Right? If Microsoft comes out with their computer, you figure they're going to have a quantum computer. It'll run Windows, and we'll see how compatible it is with software packages that are out there. Then you're going to see all the software have to go through an upgrade cycle. So I'm waiting for the core software that I use to be able to be used on a quantum machine, and then you're off to the races. You really are off to the races. And then I want to know how hot does it run? How much power does it consume? How long can I use it? Excuse me. Those are all big deals. Those are all very big deals. So I pay attention to those things. What's the convenience of it? But imagine what you'd be able to do crypto-wise with a quantum computer. Just saying. Pay attention to these upgrades. These upgrades are going to have a direct and indirect impact. Quantum computing is going to force a lot of projects to rethink their tech, to reinforce their security posture, all that. Like, it's going to affect so many different things. Meanwhile, a quantum computer in the hands of a hacker, of a nefarious person, whew, the damage they could do in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Now, there's a Russian lawmaker that's saying, hey, we should maybe have Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. As if the oligarchs aren't already doing that. But the response is to the United States, the new regime, saying, we're going to have Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. Then you have Binance, Richard Tang saying, the CEO of Binance, saying, I'm challenging all countries to use Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. Wait a minute. So MicroStrategy already owns 2%. I think the combined ETFs and MicroStrategy, I think that's around 5-6%, something like that. Then you have countries that would buy in, other companies that are buying in. The little guy had better get in, or they're not going to be able to get in. Got to have that Bitcoin. The future is looking very, very different now. Very different now. The new regime is introducing things that are going to have profound effects. Their stances on certain things are contradictory to themselves. I'm looking at the fact that, the new regime is talking about, cutting U.S. spending on defense, Medicare, and Social Security, even though the last two are paid into. They're supposed to be paid for by us. And people are wondering, well, how come you have to stop those two things? It's because they borrowed trillions of dollars from it. That's why our coffers are low, and they don't want to have to pay it back. So the best way to handle it is to get rid of it. But how do you get rid of it? Because you're making me still pay into it. Why should I keep paying into it if you're about to get rid of it? You see how that works? You see how that works? So, instead of the government, taxing the wealthy the way they should, the people that are going to be immediately affected are those that are not wealthy. And I say that specifically, those that are not wealthy. Yeah, the rich will still be affected. And if you're not wealthy, the next one down is rich. And if you're not rich, you're just straight up poor. For real, like, I'm not playing. Look at the numbers. Then, you've got Coinbase addressing account restriction allegations. They're like, no, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was going on, looked a little shady, da 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 da. I'm like, first you have Brian Armstrong talking about, attorneys that work for the SEC shouldn't get jobs anyplace else. Then he's talking, and he's not going to give business to any law firm that gives them jobs. Dude, are you freaking serious? Get off your high horse. Seriously. Like, seriously. Coinbase needs to get off that. The board of directors of Coinbase need to go to Brian and tell Brian to shut up. They really do. He's damaging their reputation. And then they have, allegations like this that, you have account restrictions. Remember the whole VPN thing? That was just last week. More? You're not going to let me use my account? I don't care if I'm using a VPN. That should be not a problem to you. It's my account. I do the whole 2-factor, 50 million factor authentication. They're my digital assets. Not me personally, but regular person. Why would you restrict my access? If there was a problem, pick up the phone and call me if there's a problem. Is that really you? You really want to move your $200 off our platform? Yes, I do. I'm telling you that there's a major problem over at Coinbase, and I think it starts from the head. I think Brian Armstrong was doing a really good thing with Coinbase, but I think it's time for him to either go or be told to shut up. I don't think he's shining a good light on Coinbase right now. And these faux pas with regard to, account access, they need to go fix those faux pas. It can't always be, network congestion, we were too busy. That can't be the case, bud. The first time you get to say it, maybe. The second time you get to say it, maybe. But the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th time. Nah, son. You people are doing something, and people don't like that. Don't mess with people's money. That's a problem. That's a problem. And you have other, exchanges looking to come into the United States. And this is what you're going to do. You could be losing out. I think Coinbase might be taking its number one spot in the United States for granted. And it's going to hurt them. I think it's going to wind up hurting them. And it sucks because I like Coinbase. I like Coinbase for what I use it for. I try not to keep a lot of assets on there unless I know I'm going to be doing, some transactions. But I think Coinbase could be doing some stuff. So I'm just kind of like, that could be a little bit of a problem. Then you have analyst plan B saying, 150 by September. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? You're still on that? Let me just make sure it's still. Yeah, 150 grand. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. I do not think that we're going to hit plan B. We're going to hit, 150 grand within December. Could it? Yes, it absolutely can. But we're having a hard time staying above 100. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. I really don't think that's going to happen. Then you have Y Combinator and A16Z, two big investment firms that are saying that there's a significant growth opportunities in crypto and AI that we're going to see throughout 2025. Highly possible. Highly possible. But I think that there could be a hiccup. When the new regime comes into power, I think there could be a hiccup when they start really getting out there talking about, we want to yank back Medicare, we want to yank back Social Security. People are going to freak. It's always the little person that's got to pay the bill, and the big people aren't paying anything. They're using their portfolios, to live off of debt as opposed to paying taxes, because they're able to say, well, I didn't make any money. As a matter of fact, I have a loan. I should be getting a tax write-off because I'm paying interest on my loans. Just saying, when you start to think about that, you start to go, now you understand why people are talking about taxing unrealized gains. That's why. It's not because of little people. It's because of the big people. Taxing unrealized gains is only going to affect the top X percentage of the economy. But they're making it sound like that's going to affect everybody. Oh, it would. It would. Because the government would collect the actual taxes and fees from people that should be paying more, people and businesses that should be paying more, right? And the rest of us would benefit. The poor. Just saying that there are things out there that we should be paying attention to, and a lot of people are not. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. Alrighty. So we already know that Wednesday we're going to get the consumer price index. We should already know that on Thursday we get the producer price index as well as jobless claims. And then on Friday we get the import price index. That'll be interesting. Remember, we're a consumption-based country. We should be paying attention, very close attention. Still at 78 for fear and greed index. DeFi Llama, we're down to $141 billion in total value locked. So we're down a bit, but we're still, we're still pretty high. Not that far away from, where we want to be. That $200 billion mark is where I want to see us. Then if you're looking at the big board, again, this is why I use the GMB crypto tracker, which you know what? Let's take a look at that first. Let's take a look at the losers. All right. And here are those, wow, double digits. Turbo down 20%, 0.28, GMB X factor, purely profit taking, I think. Excuse me, I think that's purely profit taking. Notcoin is down 17.84% with a GMB X factor of 2.75. That's just horrible. That's just horrible. Excuse me. Ordi down 17.75%, GMB X factor of 1.59. Who else am I paying attention to? Book of Meme. Book of Meme is down 14.27%, GMB X factor 2.25. 1 inch is down 13.58%, GMB X factor 17.72, sorry. Arkham is down. I don't really pay attention to that one, but I know a couple other people do. It's down 13.25%. Look at this whole list. Down double digits. Down double digits. We're talking about Cadena, some meme coins, IOTA, Brett, just sending back. That means that means the bulk of the top 250 are in the red. But when I looked in the middle of the night, look at this. That's not too high. That means the bulk of the top 250 coins are in the red. Dead serious. Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I've been seeing a lot of news about movement. It's being picked up, I think, who was it, Kraken or something like that? Don't really care. But it's 0.61 on the GMB X factor. It's up 32.81%. Peak is up 22.85%. GMB X factor of 0.09. You know what that says? It just keeps going up. That's what that says. Just keeps going up. I know one of my friends is making big coin off of that. A couple of my friends are making big coin off of that. You had to have time to get in. Hopefully you did. Let's see. Who else is on here that we should be looking at? Let's see. Aave is up 6.82%, 1.33 GMB X factor. Virtuals is recovering, up 6.64%, 0.20, right? 0.20 GMB X factor. Why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because it just kept going up. I told you about virtuals a few days ago, and it's gone up from that point. Just saying. Jitto is up 6.54% with a GMB X factor of 0.64. Ondo is up. So right now, you're looking at right here. This is where you start going down. This is where you start going down. I like seeing Ondo in the green. I like seeing Athena in the green. I like seeing Beam in the green. Mantra, Eigenlayer, even Flare, Pepe. But they're all below my 5%, my 5% mark. So we really shouldn't be paying attention to them other than making note that they were positive or negative, right? So that you can see following on what's the movement of that coin? What's the rhythm? That's what I keep trying to tell people. Pay attention to that. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you have a good one. Don't forget, we're on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.